Okay, hi, this is Michael Ellis, and I've been working on kind of orgonite, radiant energy type stuff. Well, I started out kind of trying to grow grow plants just with radiant energy. Eloptic energy, as Heironymous, Galen Heironymous termed it. Trying to equivocate radiant energy with eloptic energy, which I think there's a good reason to believe that they're the same type of energy that both are using. However, I really haven't been able to accomplish anything significant other than increasing the germination rates of seeds using kind of radiant energy Orgone generator setups. Something interesting though that I actually have been able to accomplish is kind of figuring out that as Nikola Tesla described radiant energy, so does orgonite and orgone generators kind of recreate or represent the quirks that Nikola Tesla had mentioned about radiant energy. So at this point, I think it's safe to say that orgone energy equals radiant energy, as far as Nikola Tesla had described it, and I'm fairly confident in that assumption or in that statement. Furthermore, I am starting to think that the Tartarian fireplace, which has like these like devices in it like our standard fireplace setup, as well as with a metallic backing though, so it's not equal to your standard fireplace. It has metallic backing, and Nathan Stubblfield, who upon his death, the investigators found he had like a 2-mirror setup that was generating some like heat field type of thing. So it wasn't the same as described as a Tartarian fireplace with like the staff like things with large bases generating a heat field. Or a temperature field, I guess. It was stated, I don't know if there's any truth to this, that the Tartarian fireplace was a climate control that was warm in the winter and cold in the summer. But Nathan Stubblefield's device was in the middle of winter generating heat. So it was like 2 mirrors set up, and there was a field between them. And this was discovered upon his death as a winter heat source, probably based on earth battery type devices, as that was what he was working with, or magnetic receiver type devices, because he was working with magnetism, he was working with earth currents, or telluric magnetism, similar to orgonite, as what I'm finding out works on telluric currents. The Earth's magnetic field, basically. It's a transducer. So and as what you call it, Earth batteries, magnetism, and radiant energy. Radiant energy pretty much is what everyone ends up at. Everyone ends up at radiant energy, whether it's Tartarians, the Nikola Tesla's best and most famous research, whether it's George Vassilatos that was writing about it in his book, Cold War secrets technology or whatever it was, or Nikola Tesla's own statements on radiant energy, be it the bunching effects, the dartlets, the wire explodings, where you can't shield it, copper gives off unpleasant feelings, electric sparks, electric darts rather, not electric sparks, that sort of thing. So what I have discovered as of this past week, as you've been snowed in, so I just saw some things on the internet about I think it was TikTok or I don't know what the other one is, Instagram. Yeah, I know what the other one is. Instagram, is that the Tartarian fireplaces used a set of pole-like devices with fancy knobs on the end and wider bases set inside a fireplace like a inset thing, like a heat sink sort of deal, or a reflector if you want to call it that. And there was obviously some sort of field between the two that was generating heat for the building or room or whatever. To me, that sounds like Stubblfield's two mirrors radiating a heat field between each other. And I have found that that radiant energy, when you put it when you're coming off of the Orgone generator and you're tapping off of like some metal portion embedded into the orgonite, and you're tapping off of that and you put it across any metal bit to another metal bit, like a plate or something, or a rod, and you put resistance between it, whether it be a resistor or or like an air gap, spark gap, well, not spark gap really, well, a resistor of some type will give you heat, L by a little bit, like a large air gap capacitor, which is kind of something I invented. So like it's more like Stubblfield's thing. It's an air gap capacitor. And, that links back or grounds out. And you put it between that, and it generates heat in between but I've been working with tiny things, so like a little cloudbuster. So it doesn't have anything really big to link back to. But like I made problem solvers. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos, which are similar to what is pictured right here. It's called a problem solver. It's a party cup Orgone device with the large pipe coming out of it, 1-inch pipe. And I did 2 of them and put them next to each other, and put a piece of aluminum or whatever backing on them, and they do appear to actually increase the temperature in the room, or at least keep it warmer. Like I have a room above the garage, and it tends to get cold when I leave the door closed at night, and I found that it doesn't get cold anymore. It just stays warmer. I don't know if that is that per se, but it seems to be now a thing that it doesn't get colder anymore. So it may be that leading to that condition. I have yet to confirm that. But I've tried it in other places. Again, nothing similar with the problem solvers. Again, can't say for sure that it's saving on the heating bill, but I mean, it's Wisconsin winter, and especially we've been having weird winters, so it's not been normal cold, bitter cold all winter long. But yeah, I guess it's just crapshoot basically. But I have done an experiment where I put, well, actually it's right here. I put two big ass cloud busters next to each other, and instead of heat, I'd actually gotten what I call, or what Tesla had called the copper sheet, or copper what's it called? Copper conductor dartlets. When he put radiant energy into copper, he got the dartlets, or like the blue dartlets. I don't know, coming off the copper conductor, and he thought those were, well, I didn't get the dartlets per se. I didn't see anything coming off it, but they were like a penetrating, stinging sensation. So I assumed that was just the interaction of the two of them, until they the forces balanced out or whatever. But yeah, I don't feel them now. But before I did, I could feel, a stinging sensation. And as I sat and thought about it more and more, and it went away eventually. As I sat and thought about it more and more, I realized that was my body charging up. I don't know if you're knowledgeable about, as I can't assume that you're that you're knowledgeable about the body's electrical system as written about in about like Robert O. Becker, or I'm not sure the author of the book, The Body Electric, Robert O. Becker, or another book, I can't remember the name or the author, but it's about the body's electrical charge due to health, or there's like a pulsed EMF book, or I don't know, there's a lot of books out there about electricity as it relates to the body's charge and health. Electron donors and is a word that was coined in this one book. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's, I don't know if it's PEMF is the book, or I don't know. It's like black and orange cover, and it's about your body's electrical system, and not your body's electrical charge related to health. Sorry, I'm talking. This camera's just pointed randomly at this, but your body's electrical charge, and it's your body's electrical charge related to your health, related to your daily interaction with electron donors, whether your shoes are grounding you out or not, or insulating you from your natural environment, that sort of thing. And then it goes on to like the earthing thing, and there's a whole book and movie about that. And then they sell the kits that have the grounding things for you to wrap around your feet and arms and plug into the wall, grounding sockets, which I don't advise because it's pretty noxious types of energies coming in through your wall socket. So I would advise against that. I would rather do a water pipe or something, or Orgonite maybe. Orgonite tends to be more of an antenna than a ground. Yeah. And then we've got the radon coming up through the floor, so that's just great. So anyways, what am I gonna say? What am I trying to say? Okay, so just moving on, just discoveries I made this week. So with regards, okay, so I saw a video on YouTube here, and I'll try and find it and link to it below in the descriptions, that this guy was using a copper pipe as an antenna. Okay, so I went a step further and was using it as the copper pipe as a primary, which, yay, good for him. Copper pipe for an antenna was used in Tesla's Pierce Arrow. He had a 6-foot copper pipe on the roof or whatever. He used that as a primary antenna, much like the what you call it, the toroid on the Tesla coil, the Odin coil, not the Odin coil, something with the C, C coil, not the Odin coil, the C, or maybe it was an O, Oliver coil or whatever, Oliver and a coil. I don't know. It's not technically a Tesla coil, but you know it as a Tesla coil. The toroid on top. Tesla coil has a ball on top. But anyways, like then it's called it has 3 stages, and that's 3 or 4 stages, and it's called the magnifying transmitter, because that actually increases the power of the signal. So anyways, Tesla used for the car, the Pierce Arrow, used a copper pipe, and then it was linked down to a regular coil, and then a bunch of diodes and some other secret sauce. But in a little box, which you said could basically power a house, if you hooked it up to it. But anyways, so this guy was using a length of copper, 3 foot, I think, length of copper pipe. Then he was transforming it down. Sorry, there's something else to look at. So now he was transforming it down into another coil and a coil, and he was using that as a and then he was powering it up as a transmitter, powering something up. I don't know, he was really shady about it and vague, but he was powering a transmitter, and he was lighting up a bunch of light bulbs and stuff. So he was actually feeding energy into it, so it wasn't like he was getting it out of the air. But I have found, I actually had a steel pipe in this, or which one was it? The purple one. The purple one. So that was the one that said, okay. I had a steel pipe in this one, and had a coil that went down inside the pipe, and then out of the pipe and around the pipe, and I had a screw, and I was placing it near the end of the coil, and very, very faintly I could see what looked like a little tendril coming off of it. It didn't make any noise, didn't produce any ozone or anything, but it was just very, very faint. I could see, I don't know if it was more etheric energy, like as in like an aura energy type of deal, like magnetic energy, as opposed to being like like a real plasma, or real like electrons and ions and crap. But yeah, this was really, really shady, really shady, really like, and it almost seemed like a smoke on the pipe. But anyways, so yeah, it was like grounding into the screw and then into me, and I don't know, it seemed more like aura energy type of deal. But yeah, that's what it looked like. Sorry about the furnace. So then I brought these two bad boys next to each other, and I experienced what I could only explain as like the stinging feeling that Nikola Tesla had experienced, and I came to the realization, like I said before, that my body was charging up. I did the like self-check muscle testing. Is this harming me? No. Is this doing like the divination with my muscle testing? Is this harming? Is this this energy radiation? Is it like atomic radiation? No. Is it a beta radiation? Yes. So it's like electrons, like ions, coming off of it. Is it harmful? No. Is it damaging DNA? No. But then I got asked, is it charging me up? And it said yes. So then I realized that it was like an electron donor. It was, doing the work of like a thunderstorm or a grounding or that sort of thing. It's just aerial, as opposed to like through your feet or like static electricity, like conducting a charge. This is doing it directly. It's like blowing the plasma directly into your cells, taking the direct route instead of the roundabout way. I'm sorry, I shouldn't lie. It's actually quite annoying and painful, but it's not painful. It just is like it's slightly painful, I guess. I shouldn't say that, but it feels like your nerves are like freaking out. Like am I burning? Am I getting burned? It does feel like you're kind of on fire a little bit, but yeah, it's not harmful though. I mean, I don't have burns. I don't have sunburn. I don't have like damage. I mean, I've been working around this type of energy a long time. I do it I began to generate it with resistor networks and batteries and with coils and diodes in funky arrangements, and so I can kind of pull it out of the ether, but Orgone seems to be the quickest route to creating it. But yeah, it's batteries and diodes in mixed up directions, and like super high resistant, super high resistance resistors, like in networks, funky networks, will also get the same effect. I don't know what to call it. So it's the same radiant energy. It's generating radiant energy, just using electronics how they're not supposed to be used, and then it works that way. So it's not normal. It's like the inventors in the old days. They pull resistors up out of the ground and do funky things like that. And it's not electricity; it's magnetism and whatnot, and like direct ions and such. But it's like the old school electronics research. It's not all about protons and superconduction and crap like that. It's about the actual like blood, sweat and tears of the earth and the heavens, as opposed to this stuff that fries your nervous system and kills your DNA. This is the real type of electronics that, I shouldn't say electronics. This isn't electronics. This is energy physics. This is the energy physics that nature makes. This isn't electronics. So actually, it would be a disservice to this kind of research to call it electronics. This is actually energy physics. So as far as electrical engineering would maybe be okay to call this, but this is energy physics. This is energy engineering. I don't know, that sounds kind of weird, but anyways, stay safe. One more thing. And I discovered that as you're working with this type of electricity, it is self-referential, meaning it flows. Well, like Bedini said, you isolate a section of the wire which the energy is flowing through, and that you pull your voltage from. So it's like he was doing the energizer things with the wheel and bifilar coils and whatnot. And he was pulling voltage off of the wire, like Tesla did. He said, I don't know what he meant by that, but I haven't found that anywhere. But since you're using radiant energy, it's yeah, I guess Tesla did say that. Tesla said it was it was a pump-like energy. So when you're actually measuring voltage, you measure it on one wire, as opposed to two wires, like having like a complete circuit, like Kirchhoff sort of deal. In this case, you're just measuring it on one wire that doesn't terminate. It just goes on. And that's how radiant energy works. You just pull one wire off of it, and you measure voltage across the wire. So how I could actually measure plasma, how I could actually pull voltage off of it, would be to connect to one end or one point in the coil, because you make a coil coming off of the radiant energy source, and the coil builds up charge, and then to access that charge, you connect 2 points anywhere along that coil, and the further you go out, and the closer, or the wider the margin, or I guess I don't know if there's a margin there, but anyways, the wider the more coil you have between, the higher obviously is the voltage. So yeah, so that's how it works. That's how he's able to pull voltage out of the ground, basically, because the ground isn't connected to anything else. It's just a big ball. So you build a coil out of the ground, and then you connect to two points on that coil, and that's how you get your radiant energy. So hope that clears things up for people that are a little confused about stuff that Tesla does and the Tartarian technology and whatnot. So build yourself some big ass cloud busters and squirrel them away somewhere so you can experiment on them. The epoxy is kind of expensive, but you can get some really cheap versions, but those stink like hell. So I suggest you get the fancy kind and get some cheap chips or shavings from your local sign shops, because they're just paying to get rid of them. No, actually they get like a little bit of money, but not a lot, from what my local source says. Or you can buy them, but my supplier, my usual supplier, he had some health issues, so he was behind, and I don't know, so I got these chips instead, from an old classmate of mine. So yeah, just build some big cloud busters. It's expensive, takes time, but well worth it for the payoff. And they don't have to be big. I mean, you can start with like liter size devices and actually get pretty good performance off of them. Just get in there, get your hands dirty. Realize that your visual and tactile and intuitive sources are going to be a lot more valuable than anything that shows up on a oscilloscope or a multimeter. You're going to have a really hard time measuring anything useful. Your nerves are the quantum and the differential measurement tools, that are going to measure this. You're not throwing around protons and electrons with these things. It's all I don't know what you call it, quantum crap. Yeah, it's not conventional electronics. Well, I guess I'll put it that way. So your body's made to measure this stuff. So take that little tidbit and run with it. So thanks for watching. This is Michael Ellis. As always, stay safe. Follow safety protocol when developing and working on resin and electronics and energy experiments. Try not to kill yourself. And don't blame me if you do. And stay safe, yeah. Watch out for resin fumes and stuff. And don't kill yourself. Thanks for watching. This is Michael Ellis, and like and subscribe.